Good morning, everyone. We have with us Mr. Mahesh Pavaskar sir today. He has a teaching experience of around 4.5 years and has an industry experience of 6.5 plus years. He is an expert in SIEM domain. He has 15 plus global certificates and has conducted 50 plus workshops on cyber security, Linux, RHEL, networking, Java, and others. He is currently working as principal IT security architect at a Belgium-based company, Cleared Europe Services, since last 2 years. We are really thankful that he's agreed to join us today. This webinar has been organized by the Computer Society of India, KJSI IT chapter in association with IT department and Department of Computer Engineering. Our college, KJSI IT, has been accredited by NAC with A grade and was awarded the best college by the University of Mumbai for academic year 2018-19, Urban Region, CSI Mumbai chapter and IST Maharashtra and Goa section. I would like to thank Professor Uday Rote sir, Students Welfare Dean, Professor Sarita Ambedkar ma'am, Head of Computer Engineering Department, Dr. Radhika Kotecha ma'am, Head of IT Department, our Principal Sir Suresh Ukarande sir, and Vice Principal ma'am Dr. Sunita Patil for giving us this opportunity to organize this webinar and for all the support. We will now start with the webinar. Questions can be asked towards the end of the session. Feedback form link will be provided in the chat box towards the end of the session, and it is compulsory to fill the feedback form for e-certificates. Mahesh sir, I request you to continue, please.
Thank you, Ria. Okay, first of all, I thanks Professor Prashant. So he's my friend during my MTech, VJTI Mumbai. So yeah, so thanks Prashant sir, and thank you KJ Sumaya management to given this opportunity. So yeah, I'm eager to share my knowledge with you guys. Again, this is what I experienced, throughout my career, and that experience I'm sharing with you guys honestly. So without wasting time, I'm starting the presentation. So today I'm going to discuss about what are the different areas. Again, I'm not covering 100% areas, but yeah, I'm trying to focus what I experienced, the areas where actually I worked with so many different people, and I know the job duties, what are the job duties, and what may be the skills required, certifications required for that particular designation. So I will share my experience, and I hope it will help you guys as a student. So this is my background. So read out afterwards because no need to write something because I'm going to share these slides with you guys. So nothing secret. So I'm going to share this slide. So just listen carefully, and if you have any questions, then yeah, you can ask end of the session. So maybe I will take around 1.5 hours approx. So yeah. So starting with the cybersecurity. So everybody knows uh, cybersecurity. So I will start with why security is needed. So definitely the security is needed. There are a couple of reasons. The first reason definitely is providing security from the outside threats or maybe from insider threats. So that is one reason why cybersecurity is needed. The next thing is if security is violated, what will be the impact? And that is the most challenges because reputation is important if you want to grow your business, if you want to sustain your business. And that's why cybersecurity came in the picture because cybersecurity is not to secure your system. Cybersecurity is securing your internal systems, your peripheral devices, then your customer data, so many things. So basically protecting your assets from the attacker, that is I can say cybersecurity. Then when you are talking about cybersecurity, there is simple thing. You need to know about how attackers think and how attackers work. If you know the pattern, then definitely you can easily stop them. And this is the beauty of cybersecurity. If you know how to attack, then you can easily prevent. Then you know the different kinds of attacks. Like nowadays we are having phishing attack. Then we are having some credit card information stolen from the social e-commerce website. Then we are having bypass firewall, rules. There are so many threats. So if I want to start my career as a cybersecurity expert, or maybe I want to enter as a novice, I need to understand so many different attack patterns. And when I say attack patterns, there are so many. These are the popular one, like web application by using SQL injection or XSS, that is cross-site scripting attack. Then software vulnerabilities. So software vulnerabilities means what? Consider you are using Tomcat server to host your application, and your application is a basically it's a payment gateway something. And if your application hosted on a particular software and that software is vulnerable, then even if your software is robust, your code is robust, it will not help you because the hosted software is a broken one. So that broken software can harmful for your application also. Then sometimes stolen credentials. So it happens in different ways, like by using social data, by using shoulder surfing. Then maybe your machine get compromised and you store your password, password.txt file. It may happen, right? Then your web compromising by using different attacks. Then DDoS attack, malware ransom. So malware is just like a malicious software, and the intention behind this is to gain some money. Then phishing attack. Everybody knows. So somebody pretend as a SBI bank, or somebody is try to pretend that is a legitimate website, and they try to fake identity, and maybe you can put your credentials, and in the background your credentials are stolen. The next one is how these different kinds of attack we need to uh, identify, or how we can identify different attack patterns or techniques. So I will recommend these frameworks. uh, so there are Mitre, then NIST, and OWASP. So if just Google it afterwards, but I will focus on the first one, that is Mitre attack framework. So what is Mitre attack framework? So I will directly show you on browser. So if you see, okay, just Google it out. So just Mitre framework, Mitre attacks, okay, tactics and techniques. And if you just search, the first link definitely will be the Mitre attack. So if you see here, the first, these highlighted row, okay, this is the first row, it indicates the tactics. So tactics is just like the methodology we are using, yes, and the technical techniques is just like these techniques. So if you see, there are so many techniques. We cannot cover each and every stuff, right? But consider in interview, people are asking not the question maybe directly, like, oh, can you show me the brute force attack, or maybe can you show me this attack? They will ask you question like this: do you know how to perform credentials access attack? So I may not wonder like if you perform each and every techniques, but I prefer at least you should know what is credential access. So you can read out what is credential access, and you should know the some techniques like bash history, brute force attack, credential dumping, credentials in file, credential in registry, like that. So we'll go these are the some techniques, and everyone knows how what is a brute force attack, what is a dictionary attack, and how it works, right? So these are the techniques. So if you know some techniques from each and every tactic, so I will give you the just starting point. Just see the tactics and just pick up one techniques from each and just try that. Whatever simple technique you want to use and you know about it, and just work on that. And it will be fun, like how you can achieve the attack. Brute force, like, okay, you want to attack on particular machine to gain the credentials or credential access, then try the brute force attack by using some tools like a Kali Linux or OPH cracker. There are so many tools, you can use those tools and just try to attack. So these are some techniques, just okay, read out afterwards. So these are the attack framework. So if you mention in interview that you know that some attack frameworks, it's impressive because you don't know the, okay, not only know the how to perform attack, but you know the about the frameworks, and these frameworks are utilized all over the world as a standard. So basically, if organization wants to check whether they are protected by different techniques, they will check with these attack frameworks. What are the security principles, basic principles? I will not explain the definitions and all these things, but if you want to learn about the security, information security, then these three basic principles like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So ask question to yourself, can you talk about each principle for 30 minutes if you want to enter in information security world? And if you're not, then definitely you need to enhance your technical skills. I can say if you can speak about these three on 30 minutes, so half an hour, 1.5 hours, definitely I can say you are on right track. So everybody knows what is confidentiality, how you can make secrecy of your confidential data, and how you can achieve those by using different techniques. Like then integrity, if I'm transferring my data from party A to party B, so how my data should go from channel 1 to channel B or channel 2 in a secure manner. That is called as data integrity. So how we can achieve the integrity? There are different techniques. So data integrity. Then next one is availability. So how we can provide 24/7 available our uh, any site or our services. And if we can make this one, definitely our customer will be satisfied. And there are different techniques to provide availability by using HA and so many things. Uh, so proceed further. I think you heard about onion architecture. So onion architecture, or I can say defense in depth strategy. So if you want to work with cybersecurity, you should know the layers of the security. The innermost layer, definitely data. So that is data security. Then you can see outerwards, like outermost layer is a policies, and the second layer from the outer is a physical security. So maybe you know this, but you don't know, okay, this security comes under this category, this security comes under this category. So if you want to know this, the 7 layers, the first layer is the policies, procedures, and governance. And why these policies are important? Because human is a weakest link. And if we violate that link, we can easily maybe harm to that company. So policies, procedures, and governance is a created by the management body of company, and these people will create the policies like, okay, if there is interview process, how if that person is not employee and he wants to enter in our premises, then what are the different steps he should follow? He should first contact the security guy, then fill up the form, then he should hand over that particular student to the HR, then HR will ask him the details about resume and so many things. And so these are some policies and procedures. And if you got selected, then what is the procedure? They will check your background and so many stuff. If you are working for banking, they will check your background verification. And if you are working for maybe for mechanical kind of industry, maybe there is a physical health checkup also included. So it depends on the policies, procedures, and governance. Next one is physical security. So when you enter in premises of any company, you should aware, like there is CCTV cameras, there is a biometric, there is access cards. So this, I'm talking about the physical security, how we can provide the security accesses, and when we can provide the access to the employee. If employees came in the premises, maybe after business hours, then what are the procedures? In office hours, the procedure is very simple. You should batch and you can enter in the office. But if you want to enter out of the business hours, there is a separate procedure. And they will check whether it's approval by your manager or not, like that. So physical security also important. Then next is a peripheral security. Consider peripheral devices like firewall, IDS, IPS. So peripheral security is a security from outside world. How you can make the security? and how you can protect your organization. Okay, so how you can consider your finance department. So the normal thing is your employee should not access your financial network or finance department. So I will implement some segregation in VLAN, so nobody can enter in that particular network. And I can assign that VLAN is a separate VLAN. I can assign the privileges to the users, file permissions. So these are the peripheral security. So you can harden your firewall, IDS, IPS accordingly, and you can make the rules over there. Then fourth one is internal network. I'm not talking about network because I'm not expert in network, but if you want to start your network security career, you should know the routing protocols in depth, how you can harden the network devices. So hardening is basically disable unwanted services. So if you are launching your a particular device and by default some services are enabled, you need to check which services are by default enabled, and if you don't require those services, just disable it. Don't use those services. The next one is host services. So host services is basically company provided you laptop or desktop, and they need to provide you antiviruses and then malware protection. And if you are working from home, then definitely I recommended is VPN. So you should connect your company network via VPN and you can work from remote. So that is host security, because if your laptop get hacked, or I can say compromised host, then it's very difficult to protect from insider threats. Because when I say insider threats, means attack is from employer system. So employee is suppose Mahesh is employee of X company and I am internal employee, so I can perform attacks. So it's difficult to it's easy to identify attack from the outside of world, but if it is attack from internal employee or disgruntled employee, then it's difficult. We can detect, but yeah, it's difficult to detect. Then last one is application security. So sixth layer is application security. So if you're hosting your application, then you should think about your application code written in which language. If it is Java, then Java which version. Okay, you should test your software or application code, and you should check whether if you're launching your application code on a particular software, then you should check that is broken or not, because broken software is an open window for attacker. So what is broken software? Broken software means a software having some vulnerabilities, and those vulnerabilities can be exploited by attacker to gain access to your system. So that's why I always recommended by companies, keep up to date your software, antiviruses, and each and every stuff, so you cannot easily attack by intruder. The last one is inside this defense in depth model. This is called as data security. Data is very important. Nowadays, everybody knows about ransomware attack. So the attack is for gain some money. So ransom. So it's basically for money oriented attack. So if you by mistake download something software, a malicious software, and it is run by you, and your sensitive files are encrypted, and to decrypt you need to pay some ransom. So for that, the solution is very simple. You need to back up your data regularly. If your data of 1 day is lost, I can say it's acceptable. But if your data is lost for maybe for 1 month or maybe more than that, it's not acceptable, right? So your backup policies should be a good measure for ransom, and you should monitor if some ransom is infected particular employee system like Mahesh, and they want to target another systems. So if you are monitoring keenly the activities of employee, then I can say you can easily track and you can isolate those systems from the network. Okay, so there are so many designations. I will not cover each and every stuff because, but yeah, you should know at least these are some designations, in cybersecurity world. So the first one is security analyst, that is SOC analyst, or some companies are calling as a L1 analyst. So I will explain what is the job role for analyst. So these are some analyst designations: analyst, senior analyst, or lead analyst. That is L3. Then what is SIM admin, or I can say security engineer. Then content developer. So what is mean by content? I will explain what is security content. Then operational engineer. Then professional services engineer. Then okay, security engineer. So yeah, it's architect, or yeah, this is architect role. Then vulnerability manager. What is job of vulnerability manager? SOC manager, and so on. So these are different designation, in cybersecurity. I think if you are kind of a guy who is working on Kali Linux, then these are the fields for you, like mm, CERT L1, CERT L2. Then there is a computer forensic analyst, or network security analyst, okay, or penetration testers. So yeah, these are the guys. If you are familiar with the Kali Linux, then definitely I will say pen testing your area, or you can go with the bug bounty, that is freelancing stuff. You can do that. These are some certifications. I will not explain each and every certification, but yeah, you should know about it. CEH, the entry level certification where you can enhance your knowledge about the security world. So CEH, you can do this CEH, or you can um, com complete your CompTIA Security Plus, either of these. CCNA is I will not recommend certification, but at least you should know basic of networking, and compare the costing of CCNA and CompTIA Network Plus, and accordingly you can do the certification. Certification, value added in your resume. So yeah, if you completed a course, that's fine, but if you complete a certification, that's better. Then CCNP, I will not recommend for this moment, but if you go for network security, then I will recommend CCNA plus CCNP. Then RSCSA, this is Red Hat certification for system administration. At least this indicate you know the Linux system. RSCE for it's advanced than RSCSA. It's a server-side configuration for different services. Then CompTIA, just visit this link for different certifications of CompTIA, and you can check which area you are comfortable with and what your interest is, and accordingly you can plan your security path. OSCP, these are some advanced certification. And OSCP is offensive security. It's a basically it perform. They will provide you the access to some systems, and you need to hack those systems. So this is 24 hours exam, OSCP, 24-hour exam. It's a practical exam, and OSC is I think 48 hours exam. So these are the toughest exam. But yeah, if you can crack OSCP at the first point, then I can say go for it. And I think I not mentioned over here OSWP. Just write down. I think I forgot over here OSWP. So OSWP is just like if you want to crack some web or WPA network. Basically, you want to hack some wireless network like access point and wireless security. If you want to break this wireless security, then I will recommend OSWP. It's I think 4 hours exam, and it's simple than OSCP and OSCE. So if you want to start your career just like ethical hacker, then go for OSWP. It will boost your confidence, and then you can go for OSCP. That is my recommendation. Then these are some advanced level. If you enter in cybersecurity and you have some 2 years or 3 years of experience, then go for CISM, CISA, CISSP. These are the advanced certifications. I will explain. And the last one, not the least, product specific certifications. So consider you are dreaming some company that you want to work with this company like Infosys, you want to work with a particular company like HP, you want to work with McAfee, then I will recommend just to do it product specific certification. And this will help you to get your job, for your dream company easily. So product specific certification, I will recommend if you are looking for a particular, company. Just Google it, which company providing what kind of certifications, and go for it. Okay, the first one is designation is security analyst. I will okay explain this theoretically up to some point, and then I will move. Some I will show some how incidents are actually visible in SIM product, and yeah, I will guide accordingly. The first designation, security analyst. I can say SOC analyst or level analyst. So what is job of analyst? So before starting with this designation, job description, skill sets, and certification. You can read afterwards skill sets and certification. Minimum experience is zero because if you are fresher and if you know the security, how to analyze the logs, then each and every company is looking for security analyst. So what is job profile or job role of security analyst? So if you read it, incident investigation, request to tune rule, write incident summary for audit purposes. So first, starting with this job description, what is incident? So incident is just like if you need to perform some activities, like you are performing some job, then your actions are categorized into two part, whitelist actions and blacklist actions. So what is whitelist actions? So Mahesh can log in success. Okay, Mahesh can change his password. That is whitelist action for Mahesh because Mahesh can change his password. But consider the another guy ABC and he wants to change Mahesh password and he is not Windows admin and Mahesh not requested to reset his password. Then I can say that particular action is blacklisted. Why? Because that action is not intended or it's not legitimate because somebody else apart from Mahesh or from Windows admin try to change your password or try to access your system apart from you, then I can say it's an incident. So in simple terminology, incident is bad activity. So somebody, so we need to recognize or we need to identify or we need to write some rules to identify these kind of activities. So how to identify these incidents or how to identify these offenses or bad activities? The simple thing is we need to write some rules. So simple example, if somebody try to enter at your home from the front door, okay, then I can say it's illegal, right? But somebody try to access your home maybe at night and through the window. I cannot say this is legit. Okay, this is whitelisted action. Maybe this is a robbery, right? So you need to define what is legitimate, what is whitelisted, what is blacklisted. And this, you need not to worry about, you need not to discover this runtime. You need to write some rules. So these rules basically try to identify some patterns or try to identify some conditions. Okay, somebody trying to access this system out of the business hours and the employee is not in, our company employee, it's maybe attacker, then trigger an offense and go for investigation. So these kind of rules, okay? So rule is basically having some conditions, and if those conditions are met, then incident will be created. So what is job rule of security analyst? Security analyst, simple job is when incident is coming or incident is triggered, he will investigate the offense. He will check whether this incident is harmful for organization. So basically he will do the triage. So what is triage? So triage means he will identify what is the source IP, what is the destination IP, who is the user, then what is the source, then what is source IP, destination IP, port number, username, host name, like so on. So maybe these are the security incident, some parameters you need to check as a triage. So consider you identify, okay, so source IP is a something outside the IP, and destination IP are sensitive system from DMZ. And the user is maybe not our employee, it's another user, and you can identify the patterns. So this is basically incident investigation. So consider we got some incident or offense, and attack security analyst wants to check the reputation of that particular IP. Then simple thing, I will show some websites where you can check the reputation. So VirusTotal. If you go to VirusTotal, or if you go to the Cisco Talos or IBM Expose, or VirusTotal. Okay, so just simple, you need to do what? You need to put URL. So URL may be malicious, IP address or domain name, or a particular file hash. Maybe your organization is abc.com and you are getting some emails from xyz.com, and basically xyz.com is a some bad guys and trying to send you the bulk of phishing emails. So that maybe you need to identify that domain is, legitimate, or whether this domain is, it's reputed or not reputed. So if I search for particular IP, you can search afterwards 8.8.8.8. It's a Google, IP for we are using so many times. You can check the reputation. If so many people are saying, yeah, clean, 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 then definitely it's a community, opinion, and you can read out what people are saying about this IP. And if most of the people are saying, okay, it's good, then no need to worry. But I recommend you should check this IP reputation. Reputation is just like this IP is, good or not. It's a botnet, or it's a, malicious IP or that. So you can check on different portal. This is IBM X-Force Exchange. So you can check, you can put IP over here and you can get some results. So I always recommend just check from IBM, X-Force, Cisco Talos, and you can get some data. And according to your data, you can analyze whether this IP reputation is good or bad. So this is about IP. Then the next thing is what you can check domain. So domain, you can search for a particular domain like or goes.in. You can check, okay, this domain is how people, okay, what people are talking about this domain. And accordingly, you can act on that particular domain. And if you feel like this domain is malicious, then simple thing, you need to escalate this offense and you need to block this domain. So that domain cannot communicate or cannot send, more stuff towards your organization. So this is a kind of security analyst L1 level. So I can say this is starting role of analyst. Then next one is level 2. So level 2 is just like if L1 analyst can't identify what is the root cause of this incident, then because level 1 analyst having some predefined time, if you cannot conclude your incident summary within 30 minutes, because SOC analyst working 24/7 shift, so they are having limited time to work on a particular offense or incident. So if you are taking more time or more than 30 minutes, it depends on what SLA you are having. So if you are working on particular incident more than 30 minutes or more than 1 hour, then definitely escalate to L2. So escalation is what? Escalating is L2. L2 are the some senior guys, and who basically initially is the security analyst. So these are the experienced guy who will do the deep level of investigation. And if they identify something is harmful, then they will escalate to the CERT. So CERT is a cyber incident response team. So CERT are doing what? If L1, so L1 is escalated to L2, and L2 is escalated to CERT guy. So CERT guy will identify, okay, username is Mahesh account, and something is happened. Maybe Mahesh account is hacked, and attacker is using Mahesh account to perform some further activities. That is called as a, if I got credentials for Mahesh, I can perform attacks from Mahesh account. So to break the cyber chain or cyber kill chain, cert guy will suspended Mahesh account for some period. So if Mahesh account is deactivated, attacker cannot perform further, attack or further damage to your organization. Then request to tune. What is tune? Tune means what? Consider security engineer written some rule. So rule is written, and if that rule is conditions are met, we are getting incident. But rule is not properly written. Then security analyst will request to security engineer, guys, we are getting so many incident for this rule. Can you please tune the rule? So tune rule is basically what? A tune rule is a request to avoid the false positive offenses. So false positive means what? The offenses triggered by that rule, those are not harmful to the organization. And if those are not harmful, then security analyst should explain to the security engineer why that incident is not harmful for us. And if security engineer is okay with the justification, then he will basically tune that rule. So this is called as a tuning. Tuning means modifying the rule according to the request of security analyst. Then L3, so L3 is a lead for L1 and L2 analyst. So the L3 guy is basically senior to L1, L2, and he should have some more knowledge from these, and he is having more rights and more job duties also. Like he need to do the a deep incident investigation, then maybe block the CIDR like that. So this is L3 guy, but if you go to the further level, L1, L2, L3, then there is a lead, and lead is basically guiding L1, L2, L3 team. So what his job is? So the lead of these L1, L2, L3 team is develop playbooks. So what is playbook first? So I think these are the new terminologies for you guys, but yeah, you can learn like step by step. So I hope up to this point you understood what is a rule. So rule is basically the conditions written, and if that rule conditions are met, then rule response is incident. Then what is a playbook? So playbook is just like a guideline. So playbook is a guideline for security analyst. If this incident happen, then what you need to perform the actions. So that is just like a guideline for analyst, how to investigate for a particular incident. So consider there is a brute force attack. Then what you need to check? You need to check what is the destination IP. Okay, from destination IP means what, on which system the attack is going to perform. Source IP, who is performing the attack. So if you want to learn about the investigation, just think about W. W means what? Who is doing an attack, where, at which system your attack is going to take place. Then what, at what time, what means what, at what time, timestamp, at what time attack is going to take place, or that timestamp is very important. Then how is the next part, but W is very important. So when you think about investigation, you should know about the W's. So these playbooks are created by lead, and lead is working with security engineers how to develop some playbook task. Playbook task is if basically these are the tasks 1, 2, 3, 4 in playbooks, and analyst will follow that steps. Then Scrum, that is daily job. Scrum with analyst, train security analyst. So security analyst can perform their job, in good manner, because if rule is triggered, we are getting offenses or incident. But consider we don't have some rules for zero-day attacks. So zero-day attack means what? The attack patterns is not known to the world yet. And if that zero-day attack is performed, then security analyst should know how to search for periodically for a particular stuff. So security analyst can identify there is something malicious activities going on, or there is something spike in network activity or events activities. So if there is a burst or there is a so many events are coming for a particular host, then I can say this is a point of investigation, because sometimes we cannot cover all kind of attacks by using some rules. So we need to identify, we need to train the security analysts so they can regularly search for uh, attack patterns from the logs, basically from raw logs. So lead analyst should have some good analytic skills, and he should have prior experience about analyst background, and the GX certifications added value to this role. So GX certificates are costly. I will not recommend for you guys for the moment, but if you join some companies, then please identify whether this GX certification is sponsored by the organization, and if yes, then go for it, because the value, okay, the minimum I think is 70,000 onwards. So the certifications are very costly for GX. The next one role is SIEM engine. What is SIEM? SIEM, no need to write something, just understand, because I'm going to explain what SIEM in detail. So SIEM is security, I for information or I for incident. It depends on the context. So SIEM is a security, information or incident event management. So what is I? I is information, incident. So what is I? So if it is whitelist action, I can say this is information for me. Mahesh is login successful. That is information for me. But somebody try to access Mahesh account 50 times login failures, followed by success. Then I can say this is not information. This is I for incident. So this is bad activity. So this is I for information and incident. So SIEM admin or security engineer, so these designations are overlap sometimes, but what SIEM admin is doing? So SIEM admin is doing creating users, different roles, networks, writing use cases, rules, managing product, manage the product, onboarding new log sources. I will show you in with one SIEM tool. So if you can see my screen, this is IBM QRadar. This is open, this is community edition. So you can download and you can install. I will explain how to do that. So I'm going to log in first. So SIEM admin job is, I'm talking about only one SIEM. SIEM is a domain. And if you talk about the products in market, there are so many products available for SIEM. So this is one of them. So IBM QRadar is one of the product comes under SIEM domain. So if you see, this is a graphical wizard for IBM QRadar. So IBM QRadar is you can understand it's developed by IBM and it's widely used in all over the world. So if you go to the admin activity and you can see the functionality of admin, whatever you can see over here, this all is managed by your SIEM admin. So just this is a community edition. So how to download this one, I will explain. So just Google it, IBM community edition. So you can see the first link. And it's very simple to install because you will get OVA file. So I think you know about the VirtualBox. So OVA file or OVA file is just, you need to do what? You need to download this OVA file from this community edition. Okay, you need to download and you need to do go to VirtualBox, go to the file, import appliance, and you need to provide your OVF or OVA file. So if you see extensions OVA or OVF, so you need to import and you need to follow the procedure. So this is very simple. So this is one product. If you want to learn SIEM domain, then I will recommend read theoretically and just implement some practically on this QRadar platform. If you are not, if you want to explore another product, then there is another product, open source product, OSIEM. It is open source security incident and event management. It's open source. everybody knows what is open source, right? So it's open source by Allen Walt, and if you see the another product by Allen Walt is a USM. So USM, so OSIM is a open source and USM is a proprietary by Allen Walt. So if you want to use open source, I will recommend go for OSIM. But yeah, it depends on you. I will recommend, if you ask me where to start a sim domain experience, then I will recommend IBM QRadar because it's widely used and it's a Gartner. So if you can, so if you want to develop your career, definitely always see the Gartner magazine. So if you search for IBM, sorry, Gartner SIM, so you can see here, Gartner is a organization who will recommend you who are the leaders in that domain. So you can see in SIM domain who are the leaders. So IBM is leader, Splunk is leader, Hexabeam, then Synchronix, Rapid7, Logarithm. So these are the leaders. So leader means they are having so many functionality in their products and they acquire, good market all over the world. So the Gartner, you cannot, Gartner is not only for SIM. Gartner is for so many stuff. They can give you the idea about the database security product. They will give you the application security product. So if you want to start your career in any domain, just search on Google. If you want to develop your career in application security, search application security product Gartner survey. So you can identify how many which are the companies having their application security products. So yeah, Gartner, please note down the Gartner, then yeah, you can search Gartner magazines. So this is one of the product in SIM domain. So admin is doing what? Admin is managing this stuff like adding users, adding user roles, uh, then log sources. So log sources means what? What are the different sources? If I click on this, so you can see here, there is a one box, Linux box, and this box is sending logs towards this SIM or towards this QRadar box. So this is admin job to manage this QRadar uh, and yeah, to maintain this one. Then if you go further, the next designation is security content development. So what is security content? So security content means how recognize activities and identify which are the whitelisted and what are the blacklisted actions. And accordingly, security content developer will write the content. So, so security content, in some companies, that security content developer designation is TL engineer. TL means threat library engineer. So this, what is the functionality or what is the job role for this guy? He will dedicated engineer to write rules, and everybody knows what the rules are. I will explain with the some reference. So he's responsible to write rules, prioritize the use cases, and definitely if you write the rules, the response of the rule is depends on the TL engineer. So I will explain what is the rule. Let's go to the again to the QRadar stuff. Oh, I will. Yeah, okay. So if I go to the again QRadar box, so consider we need to understand how security content developer or thread library engineer writing the rule. So I already explained the rule is having some conditions. So let's go. So I will explain this one. These are the offenses. So offenses in QRadar, but in general term, we can call it as an incident. So these are two offenses created. So let me open one of these. So if I open this ID number 4, So this is offense. And what is the description of offense? Multiple login failure for the same user containing an authentication attempt was unsuccessful. Okay. So it means that somebody trying to log in for the same username. What is the username? We will see. Username is root. So somebody trying to access root account. Okay. What is source IP? 192.168.1.103 and destination IP is same because attacker already gained the access for that system. So basically attacker having the access to that system and he is trying to crack or guess what is the root password. Root is the administration, right? Administrator for Linux system. So he's trying to attack on this one. And what is the rule written? So this is the offense, okay? So you can see source IP, destination IP, username, MAC address, and so many. How many events are there? You can see so many stuff. But if I go to the display and rules, because I'm going to explain how rules look like. And if I open this, see here, or maybe I can show you in different angle. So if you go to the rules, and if I search, these are different rules. You can see rule over here. Okay, rule over here. So you can see bunch of rules: database remote login success, remote login failure. Then you can see the so many rules over here. So I will search for my rules. Okay, multiple login failure from Linux box. If I search for my another rule, test login failed. So you can search over here which rule. So I will open my first rule, that is multiple login failures from a particular user. So what are the conditions? I explain you what is the rule. Rule is basically conditions. So what is the first condition over here? The first condition, if event detected by Linux OS, okay? So this is an event coming from Linux OS, fine. So what is second condition? This is AND conditions. So the first condition met, then you can go to the second condition. Second condition is authentication failure with the same source IP more than 3 times across, okay, towards one destination within 5 minutes. So basically one source IP trying to access or authenticate 3 times, but authentication response is failure within 5 minutes for a same destination. And where he is trying to attack, the username is root. So attacker is trying to access root access. So this is the rule. And if this rule is met, if all conditions are met, what is the response? See here, ensure the detected event is a part of offense. So this will create offense. So I think you little bit correlate the things. What is the rule and what is the offense or incident? So if this rule is triggered, then we will get this offense. If you see here, you will get offense. So if I open this offense, I can basically identify, I can refer playbook and I can write some notes. If you see here notes, I can add notes. I can write over here, source IP is 192.168.1.103. Username is root and your summary, whatever you want to perform your summary and add your note. And this note is over here. So if you writing your notes, then if you escalate from L1 analyst to L2 analyst, then L2 analyst can see your notes, what basically you triage basically. So you can see here action in assign. So assign means what? Assign to whom? Assign to you or assign to escalate to L2. Here is only one user. So, but yeah, you can see here multiple users. So you can assign directly to the group or a particular user. So this is assigning offense to somebody else. So this is offense. I hope you understood or correlate the things. The next one is, so this is a TL engineer job to write some rules, and accordingly, offenses are created. So if you're talking about, I highlighted or bold here, product specific certifications. So if you want to enter in SIM domain or this this domain, then I will recommend do some product specific certification. First, start your knowledge around SIM domain. So SIEM, SIM domain, and then if you are learning some product, that is added value in your resume. So you can target if this IBM QRadar product is used by so many companies, then you can do the product certification, and all these companies will definitely call you for interview. Then next one is security engineer. This is just kind of say, if you are good at Linux, if you're good at network design, then this is a right role, architect role or deployment engineer role for you. So you are basically responsible for requirement gathering, design, deployment stuff, and you are responsible for health monitoring and scale up your infrastructure. So deployment engineer is managing your infrastructure. So he's a basically architect for your organization security structure. And these are some skill sets for him. Just read out afterwards. And these are some certifications. So product specific certifications required if you are targeting a particular product company. SOC manager. So SOC manager is SOC stands for Security Operation Center. So this is a manager role. So yeah, you can read out what is the minimum experience you need, and you should know basic uh, knowledge about all security, SIM domain and information security domain in depth. So you are the right guy for this position. And if you ask, okay, I forgot to add certification for SOC manager, then there is one certification for this CISSP. You can note down CISSP. So you can go certification, the certification from the bottom, number 3. So CISSP. So this is certification help you for that position, SOC manager. Then next one is this is, I think everybody is uh, try to hack some system or just doing the ethical hacking job. Then this is a pen test job or bug hunter job. So for this position, I feel you should have some sound knowledge about C, C++, because if you know the C, C++ in depth, then you can easily learn about the attack patterns, attack scripts, and yeah, you can leverage and you can modify those attack scripts. So these are the pen test guy. And again, don't confuse between the pen test guy, because sometimes people are just learning Kali Linux and okay, then that's done or no. It depends on what pen test you are looking for. You are looking for web technologies, pen testing. So then you need to understand web technologies, like you need to know about HTML, CSS, then JavaScripts, so many stuff. Like you need to know about web technology. If you are doing pen test for Android, then you need to know about Android programming. If you are targeting IoT, then you need to know about IoT architecture and technologies related with the IoT. So pen test guy is the guy who is expert in a particular technology, and he is identifying what are the weaknesses, what are the system vulnerabilities, and if he finds some weaknesses, he will create report. So he will create report on those weaknesses, and he will recommend to the organization that, okay, these are the weaknesses, so you need to improve. So pen test guy, sometimes you heard about the uh, black hat team or a gray hat team, or so there are blue team, purple team, red team exercise. So vary it, the naming are vary from company to company, but you should know about the teams. Red team is doing what? Red team is basically try to penetrate your software or your application or your particular technology, and he tried to find your weaknesses. Then your another team will protect or identify if the attacker is performing, then protect or prevent those attacks, like that. So many activities are going in this pen test world. So if you are starting your career, please be aware your skill set is very important for this pen test. You should know in programming in depth, C++, and uh, OSCP I will recommend for this. CH is a basic level certification, but I will recommend OSCP is a must if you want to start your career in this pen test. Then if you are good knowledge about this um, pen testing, then you can work as a freelancer. So freelancer is just like a somebody is inviting you to hack their or to test their particular software or system vulnerabilities. You participate over there, and if you find something, you will get bounty, or yeah, you will get some reward. So that is one program, and believe me, some people are working on weekends and getting good bounties to identifying the bugs. The next one is malware analyst. So malware analyst is okay. So this is just like a forensic stuff, and they will identify the malware, the pattern of the malware, document the method, how to prevent them, and write some script to identify whether current systems infected by this malware or not. So this is the job of malware analyst, and I will recommend CHOSIP is fine, but GIAC certification is important for malware analyst. So GIAC is for reverse engineering. Just read about the GREM from GIAC for malware analyst. The next one is computer forensic analyst. So consider you hired as a computer forensic analyst, and what kind of job or job role you are getting. So investigate in evidence from compromised data. So consider some employee from your organization inserted pen drive, and pen drive insertion is illegal activity because maybe there's data exfiltration by using that pen drive. And then you need to ask that particular employee, please submit your laptop and your USB stick, and you need to investigate whether he copied some data from his laptop, and he need to identify some trace. Even if that pen drive is formatted, yeah, computer forensic analyst, he can trace whether what are the different activities performed in the past and what kind of data is copied from your laptop to that PD. So this is a computer forensic analyst. So yeah, if you are keenly interested in forensic stuff, and you are interested in like okay, cyber criminal laws and criminal investigation, then yeah, computer forensic analyst is the best path for you guys. Then CIO. So I will not explain this high level designation. Just read out afterwards what CIO and every okay, these designation for you. Just read out afterwards. CISO. So CIO is your chief information officer, and he is basically responsible for controlling your IT resources and your planning of your money and time, and he should have these certifications. CISO is a face of your organization, so he's not responsible for uh, particular stuff. He is basically face of your organization. So he is not only security responsible for security operations, but he is responsible for governance also. So he's work with CEO, CIO, CFO, and other parties. So the skill set, he should have good communication skills, good at breach handling and risk management. So he is a tech geek having good experience in cybersecurity field, and if he's having MBA, I'm not saying it's compulsory, but if it is MBA, it is a preferred and it's a value added. So the next one is okay, so these are some designations and job roles and skill sets required. Then apart from this, how you can enter easily in security world. Because sometimes when I conduct workshops, so people are asking if I want to enter in security field, people are asking for some experience. So if you, because you cannot show the experience, okay, when you are student, when you've passed out from college, then I will recommend some areas where you can start learning and you can enter in that field easily. So first one is, so this is domain. comes under information security. SIEM domain. So SIEM is I already explained you what SIEM is: security information or incident event and event management. And what are the different vendors? So these are some vendors. I can say leaders: IBM QRadar, ArcSight, Logarithm, Splunk. So these are some tools, or these are some products. So you can start looking into the SIEM domain first. What is SIEM? And then start with any of these. But rest of the things, I don't know. ArcSight, Logarithm, and Splunk providing you some community editions like freely available for students, but IBM QRadar providing community edition that is freely available and no license is required for that. And there is no trial. You can install and you can use forever. So this is that's why I recommended A, and I work with IBM QRadar for 6 years, more than 6. Then what SIEM does? So just note down the 4 steps in a small. Okay, the first step of SIEM is collect logs, because without logs you cannot do anything. So the first point A is collect logs from different endpoints like firewall, IDS, IPS, AD, antivirus. So why I mentioned this different endpoints? Because different endpoints are responsible for different kind of incidents. Consider somebody inserted pen drive. Then you need to collect logs from firewall? No, you need to collect logs from your Windows operating system. So OS logs, I can say. If somebody tried to exfiltrate data by using proxy. So consider I try to exfiltrate data by using DNS or HTTP, then I need logs from proxies. So I need, at that point, I need logs from your proxy. So for proxies, maybe like Blue Coat or Cisco Iron Port. So you need to get logs from these proxies. So then you can identify data exfiltration attacks. Next, firewall. Firewall basically giving you traffic between source and destination. So you can identify, suppose CISO or your SOC admin or SOC manager asking you, can you provide me the list of IP addresses that is mostly contacted by the inside from the employee? Then I need to figure out how I can generate that report. Antivirus. So antivirus logs are important. If something is, if your system is infected, then definitely this antivirus will alert to the antivirus server, and antivirus server logs we are already collecting, so we can perform a particular action accordingly. Then consider wireless controller. Then wireless controller means what? Wireless controller is managing wireless devices like access point. So consider we are having access points, and the access point name is ABC. What I will do, I will create my access point that is called as rogue access point named as ABC. So if you try to connect with ABC, and basically that is not your company Wi-Fi access point, mine one, and that will ask you username and password. And if you provide the credentials, basically I will see your credentials, and then I will use those credentials to perform further attacks. And so that's why you need to understand the different attack patterns from the different devices. So when you talk about the collect logs, you should which attack is performing from which end, and what devices will provide you the trace of that attack. So that's why first step is very important. If you try to identify data exfiltration via proxy and you are not collecting logs from proxy, then definitely I can't cannot identify that attack, because I'm not getting logs from proxies. The next one is, after collecting logs, you need to forward this log towards your SIEM solution, that is logging and reporting. So you need to forward these logs to your logging and reporting solution. In our case, it's QRadar. So we are saying collecting logs and we are sending logs towards QRadar. So QRadar is a logging and reporting tool for us. Maybe if you are using another tool, then that's a different story. Then third one is correlation and cross correlation. So what is correlation? I explain you the rule. So rule is basically doing this stuff, correlation and cross correlation. So if you identify correlation is what, identify what is in that particular logs, combine the data from the different sources, and identify the particular pattern from those logs. So correlation, I explained you with the rule, how rules look like. So correlation is achieved by using rules. So correlation, cross correlation is a job of security content developer or thread library team to write rules to achieve this correlation and cross correlation. And last is real-time alert generation. So as you know that response is real-time alert. So basically incident, and that incident is a last step. And if incident is triggered, then job of security analyst is started. So these are the 4 steps. So each and every step is important. If one step failed, you cannot go with the third step. So collect logs, logging towards like a SIEM product like QRadar or Splunk. Logging is important, and correlation, apply the rules over the logs. And if these conditions are met, then real-time alerts. Then what are the different jobs? So I already explained you what is analyst role. So analyst role, then admin role, and engineer role. I not divided into L1, L2, L3 analyst. So please, I merge all the functionality in this box. So analyst role is a basically investigate the offense. This is the first step. If you want to start your career analyst, just Google security analyst jobs or SOC analyst job. Don't believe, don't trust me directly. Just search afterwards security analyst or SOC analyst jobs. You can find so many openings. Security admin, this is the job description for security admin, but you can start easily career with analyst, and then you can move from analyst role to the admin role. An architect role is just like you need some knowledge about networking, designing stuff, then you can go for the third role, that is architect role. So these are the common roles in SIEM domain or SIEM product: analyst, admin, and architect. So if you are good at logical reasoning, go for analyst. If you are good at Linux installation, managing your infrastructure, managing your uh, rules and writing rules, reading the logs, then go for admin role. And if you're good at networking, designing stuff, but architect role came or overlapping with this admin role. So you cannot directly go for this architect role, because admin role and this architect role or deployment engineer role is overlapping each other. Sometimes in some companies, admin and architect, both roles you can perform by the single person. It happen. So you can enhance your skills by learning in your career. Then last one is SOAR domain. I included this because some people are included in resume SIEM domain knowledge, but if you include SIEM keyword plus SOAR, that is security orchestration, automation, and response, then it is value added. So SOAR is basically how you can automate your incident investigation, how you are managing your content, how you are managing your workflows. And this is the new area, and each and every company is using this SOAR to make life easier of security analyst, basically manual investigation. So you can automate. So whatever I explain you, if there is a IP, I can check in a VirusTotal. But instead of doing this manually, going VirusTotal and putting the IP, can I do this by using automated stuff? I can pass this IP only over here. I can pass IP, and this IP will search in background, and they will give you the reputation of that IP. So this is called an automated process. So this domain, SOAR domain, will does that. So basically in SOAR domain, your some manual stuff is automated by using some orchestration. So we can automated stuff that is a repeated one by using this SOAR domain, and this is achieved by using APIs. So in background, API will APIs, application programming interface, will fetch data for you, and they will gives you this IP is good or bad. So no need to search manually. So this is a SOAR domain. And why this coming in the picture? Because people wants to reduce the manpower, but again, not fully, but somewhat. If I hired security analyst 100, then if I implement the SOAR, then I can maybe hire 80. So I can save my budget, 20 people budget, right? So by using this domain. So this is SOAR domain. You can read out more about this. So sometimes people are asking, if I implement SOAR, do I really need SIEM? So see, SIEM is a different, SOAR is the content management tool. So don't confuse, we need both SIEM and SOAR. So if you include SIEM and SOAR in your resume definitely attract attract to than some other fresher guys. So if you want to learn about the things, then I will recommend start brushing off your Linux skills, networking skills, database, and these are some resources. Just please read out. And I'm not recommending this focus on this only. Just read where you can get the more knowledge, maybe video courses, and just make expertise in your Linux networking database. So you can understand, different components of the cybersecurity world. And if you know about Linux, you are better. You can write some commands. You can do your job easily. You can write some scripts. Then it's make your life easier. If you repeated stuff, then you can automate by using Bash or Python script. So that's why I added over here. These are the simple, uh, good to have skills in your resume. Okay, so the last one is, this is just like a advertisement for my course. If you want to just join my Telegram channel, this is just I started 2 or 3 weeks before. I'm lazy guy, so I never started my channel. But yeah, this is recommended by my students. So I started SIEM with Mahesh. So you can join this channel, so you can get some updates, some books, some free of cost courses, or from this on this channel. So I will post regularly, uh, which I feel this book is very good. You can definitely, you have the good knowledge from this book. Then I will recommend on this Telegram channel. If you have some more queries, just mail me on my mail, Pavaskar Mahesh. And my current course is going on. So my next course is launching. Again, my courses are not just courses. These courses are job oriented courses. So you can learn about the industry standards, how we are working in industry. So this is next course I'm launching on 1st August. It's based on your number of students joining. So market worth, you can check the course fee. This is a security analyst course. The market fees near about 45,000. This is a recommended offer price. And if the offer valid for up to this 10th July, book amount is this one, 5,000. If you want to know more about it, just mail me if you are interested. Okay, if you're interested for this course, I will give you the syllabus and everything, or maybe just join this channel, Saim with Mahesh, so I can share a course over there. So advantages to join my classes. Always I cannot add more students, 10, or not more than 10. So it's easy to handle and one-on-one discussion. Batches on weekend only, because I'm working, so I will get only Saturday, Sunday. So batches only on weekends. Certification preparation included in that course. So at the end of this, I will give you the certification material. So you can prepare the certification and go for certification exam. And that certification is valid and appreciated all over the world. Interview guidance. During sessions, I will guide you what are the interview questions, and I will assist during interview also. Study material I will provide you, and certificate of completion definitely I will provide end of this course. So these are some features. If you want to talk with me, just mail me so I can talk with you also. What are your requirement? What are your skill sets? Sometimes people are having some queries like, I'm not good at this, I'm good at this. What should I prefer? Then I will not recommend my course. I will recommend another course. Maybe that will not handle by me. But yeah, If you are confused, then definitely just ping me so I can guide you. Okay, apart from this, nothing, guys. So thank you so much for joining this session. And yeah, I'm open for your questions. Thank you. This presentation I will share with Prashant sir. So Prashant sir can, okay, share with you these PPTs. So any doubts? So yeah, maybe you can chat and maybe Prashant sir can ask me these questions.
Thank you, Mahesh, for informative session. Actually, this was a wonderful session, and the way you highlight how to approach in security domains based on the job profile and what are the opportunities are there for the students as well as who are looking for their join career in the security domain. So if any question, you can ask the question. Students, if any doubts, you can ask your doubts over here. No.
Participants, please write your doubts in the chat box.
Okay, so okay, I'm picking some questions. I don't know how I can cover each and every question, but yeah, this is an interesting question by Saurabh. So, sir, can you explain differences between cybersecurity expert and ethical hacker? Okay, good question. So, see, ethical hacker is basically the guy who is having good intention to protect organization. So, these are not two different entities. It's in hand. So cyber security comes under, information security under domain. So if you want to become ethical hacker, that means you are a good guy. You want to protect the security, right? So this is not different. It's a hand in hand. So if you are good expert to protect the different attacks, you know the how to attack first. If you know the how to attack and how to protect, how to prevent, how to investigate, that is a different story, right? Investigation. Then definitely you can enter. So yeah, so cyber security expert and ethical hacker. So ethical hacker is the person who is having, good intention, and cyber security experts. So ethical hacker is a part of that cyber security expert that itself. Then are there opportunity in government sector? Kindly explain. Okay, so good. This is question by Vikas. Yes, government sector is hiring for this one, but sometimes government sectors are not directly hiring for, through the advertisement via newspapers. Those are hiring, some security agencies, and those security agencies providing services to the government sector. So if you want to join government sector, then I will recommend identify what are the different the government sectors working in this field, and just join this collaboration with the government. Please check out the the government organization like TCS providing some services. Then try to explore what TCS looking for skill sets, develop those skill sets, maybe join TCS. TCS will provide services to the government sector, and maybe you can directly approach the government sector afterwards. Then the next one is I couldn't understand well because of my lack of fundamental knowledge. Okay, so where exactly should I start to learn? So the simple understanding, if you want to start to your career in this field, then I explained the one slide, good to have Linux, network, everything. Start with that one, and then I will recommend just dig deeper into the logs. So if you know how the log look like, if I log in successfully, how log look like? If I log in failure, how log look like? Then I can say your thinking about analytic skills will be improved by looking into the logs. So the fundamental knowledge to enter in this field, you should have technical knowledge like cryptography, which algorithms use for encryption, decryption, what are the different key action algorithms, what are the different methods to protect your organization. So fundamental knowledge means what? You should know about the theoretical, like your computer networks, security. This is the fundamental building blocks. Linux, network basics, then these are the fundamental building blocks for your knowledge. And then you can go further. And that is, I can say, fundamental knowledge. And programming knowledge, definitely it's advantage for you. Then what are the certification required for the minimum ones? Okay, so minimum one, if you ask me minimum one, then I will recommend just minimum go for CompTIA, just visit CompTIA, because CompTIA is not expensive one. So that's why I recommend CompTIA plus, that there is no something else intention behind that. So go for CompTIA certifications. Networking, go for CCNA, definitely, because hands-on tutorials for CCNA by using and you can simulate do the simulation stuff by using packet tracer. So go for CCNA. So basic answer to your question straightforward. Basic certification, just identify which certification provide you knowledge about Linux, which certifications providing knowledge about network, which certification providing knowledge about cybersecurity, and choose certification by looking into the value of that certification. And the second one is definitely cost of that certification. If it is value, but it's very, very costly, then I will recommend choose the certification that is reputed also and having some low cost also. Okay, so somebody asking, Saurav is asking again, OWASP. So OWASP is just like application security framework. Yeah, so if you go for the application security, so definitely I will recommend those certification. But for that, I recommend you should have some knowledge about penetration testing. Like I will recommend OSWP, go for OSWP, OSCP, and OWASP one. Okay, the OWASP is definitely it's a value added for that. This is for application security. And SANS, definitely after that, go for SAN, but I will not recommend SAN for the moment. Okay, is CISA useful for CISP? Okay, so just this is not right question for this platform. So if you want to start your career, then there is some path of certification. If you complete CEH, then what next, or what next? So maybe I will recommend you, because just contact me. What are the certification path that according to your interest, and I will recommend you. Then Akshay asking, does okay, so Prashant is asking some question. Yeah, Prashant, or please ask me afterwards how we can. Okay, data. This is not relevant for this session, but yeah, you can ask afterwards. And I'm not expert in that, but yeah, I will recommend how you can do that. Okay, I think that's it. And one thing, if you want to career in enter in the security world, then simple is a SOC analyst or security analyst, and that is my course. And what are the different organizations working on security analyst? Just Google it, opportunity in security analyst or SOC analyst. So you can get so many companies.